This is 2018's Level 16. Warning, spoilers ahead. We open up to girls playing in a facility and they seem to be being monitored while they go through their days. When nighttime comes, they grab their white nightgowns and talk about what they'll do when they get to a new home. Vivian talks with Sophia about getting a good family once they're done, but they're interrupted when a bell chimes. All of the girls grab a container with cream and head to a sink where someone watches them on camera as they wash their faces with it. Suddenly, Vivian leaves the line to help Sophia get her jar, but the alarm goes off when she doesn't get to the sink in time for her time. Then, two men arrive and take her away as she begs to them that she's clean. Once Vivian is gone, the alarm stops and the girls go back to cleaning their faces. There's so much order going on right now that I would never make it in this facility. I need a little bit of leeway with things if I'm gonna survive. Time passes and the girls watch a video about being clean and good girls. Just then, the video glitches, and one of the girls asks Vivian if they should report it. Vivian puts everyone's minds at ease by saying they simply wait without talking, and the video starts working again. That night, the girls get in bed when the lights go out, and Vivian goes to tinker with something in her headboard. Ava tries to warn Vivian about Greta, who's been asking questions, but Vivian tells her to simply go to bed. After that, Vivian unscrews a screw in her headboard, and she makes another notch on her tally sheet. The next day, the girls are called to assembly, and they're greeted by Miss Brixel, who tells them that they've completed level 15. All of them will be moving to level 16, and it will be their final year before meeting their families. What is this? A conditioning facility for orphans? And all of the guards look like Walmart versions of Wesker from Resident Evil. Vivian is selected to move to a new hall, and she goes with Rita and Ava to their new level 16. When they meet their new roommates, Vivian is greeted by Sophia, but Vivian makes it clear that she is the top girl in this hall now. Later, they go to take their vitamins, and Vivian thinks back on her memory of Sophia. Then, they go to eat their meal, and Ava asks how Vivian knows Sophia. Suddenly, the power goes out, and Vivian excuses herself. Vivian spies on Sophia in the hallway, but Sophia sneaks up to her in the bathroom. Sophia tries to talk about what happened to Vivian on level 10, and Vivian pulls her into the stall to tell her not to tell anyone that she's actually unclean. So she gets shunned because of the fact that she didn't get to her face cream in time? They wouldn't let her back in if she was unclean though, would they? Just then, they're called to assembly, and Miss Brixel comes in to talk about level 16. She explains that their top society sponsors will come at the end of their time at level 16 to pick their new daughters, and she gives them all dresses with their names embroidered on them. It turns out that the girls can't actually read, but they're excited about their new clothes. That night, the girls lay down to sleep, but Sophia sits up once everyone falls asleep. The next day, Sophia wanders into the washroom, and she asks to switch chores with Audrey. Sophia takes this chance to talk to Vivian, and she asks her to keep a secret in return for keeping hers. Sophia tells her to only pretend to take the vitamins when it comes time for them. I feel like that's a little harder than she's letting on, since there's a big camera staring right at them while they take it. Just then, Ava comes in to pull Vivian away from Sophia, but Vivian has had enough of her following her around. When it comes time for vitamins, everyone lines up as they should, but when it's Vivian's turn, she hides the pill in her mouth until she can flush it down the toilet. She can't believe what she just did, and after a little freakout, she goes to the room for lights out. She makes notches behind her headboard for the number of days in level 16, and she lays back down to try and sleep. She tries to wake up Ava, but Sophia tells her that the others will never wake up that night. She explains that the vitamins put them to sleep, and she warns that she should pretend to be in a deep sleep if the guards come. Suddenly, Miss Brixel comes in with the guards, and she chooses which girls to take. Vivian is one of them, and she's carried out of the room. Well, that would definitely be a crude awakening to what's really happening. The one night she decides not to take the pill is the one night she's chosen to be a lab rat. Fantastic. Vivian and the other girls are laid on couches, and Vivian looks around after the guards leave. She finds Olivia laying next to her, but she acts asleep when Miss Brixel comes in with an older couple. The man can't help but compliment how perfect Vivian is, but his wife seems to be having second thoughts. In the end, she tells Mr. Dennison to just buy one, and she leaves him with Miss Brixel. When the girls are taken back to the room, Sophia rushes to Vivian to see what happened. Vivian tells her that the sponsors are actually buying the girls, and she can't believe she's been lied to. Sophia tells her that they have to break out, but Vivian believes that the world outside is poisonous. Sophia rushes back to her bed when she hears the guards coming, and she ends up getting taken next. Vivian opens the door and she tries to sneak down the hallway. She hides in one of the rooms when Miss Brixel arrives, and she listens in as she talks to her boss. Vivian tries to open the main door, but she can't open it. Instead, she rushes back to her bed when she hears the guard bringing Sophia back. In the morning, Vivian and Sophia hide in the bathroom, and they try to discuss their next move. Vivian knows that what the facility is doing is wrong, but she holds out hope that there's a reason behind everything. Later, Vivian goes for her appointment with Dr. Miro, and he tells her that he's going to be giving her a vaccine. The needle has Dennison's name on it, but Vivian doesn't know what's going on aside from what Dr. Miro says. Vivian shows him sleep scab that the girls get, and he tells her to tell all of the girls to stay clean while he rubs ointment on her sores. Sleep scabs? Those look like really bad pressure sores for being children who aren't bedridden. They're only in bed while they sleep, and the rest of the day they're really active. How cheap are those mattresses? Are they sleeping straight on the bars? That night, the girls enjoy a movie, but when lights go out, Vivian asks Sophia what she knows about the pills. Sophia tells her that she lays in bed to listen to the other halls as they go through their routine, but there's a dark hour between each hall waking up. Vivian assures her that they don't have to worry about the cameras, since nothing happened when she ran through the hall, but she says that she couldn't make it past the stairway door. The next day, Vivian goes to talk with Dr. Miro, and she finds out that he's in charge of movie night. After a little conversation, she convinces him to give them a new movie. During recreational time, Veronica ends up getting sick, and Vivian helps her to the bathroom. When Sophia asks to see what's wrong, she sees a terrible rash of some sort running up her arm. Ah, they all have it! Sophia goes to Vivian to see what they can do, and Vivian thinks Dr. Miro can help them. Sophia knows better about everyone in the facility, though, and explains that the guard with a limp comes in their room and touches them in the night. They're interrupted by a bell that tells them to assemble for class, and they watch a video on cleanliness until the video glitches. Suddenly, a movie cuts in, and Vivian knows that Miro turned it on for her. When she goes in for a checkup, she talks about the movie, and Miro seems moved by how much she liked it. When Miro gets ready to give her another vaccine, Vivian protests, and Miro seems to know that she hasn't been taking her vitamins. He gives her a choice. Either he calls the guards to punish her, or he gives her a concentrated vitamin injection. She chooses the injection, and the world gets fuzzy. What did he give her? She looks so strung out that I'd report her for suspicious behavior more now than I would have before. Needless to say, I don't think Vivian is top of her class anymore. Eventually, Sophia goes to check on Vivian, and the two of them seem to be bonding like they used to on level 13. Sophia tells her that she has a plan, and all she needs is a card from one of the guards. Vivian doesn't like this idea, and her behavior is definitely noticed by Ava, who goes to call the guards. Olivia isn't so sure about reporting anyone, but Ava thinks that being a teacher's pet will assure her a good home when they get out. Meanwhile, Sophia and Vivian sweep the bedroom as they plot how they're going to get the card from the pervert guard. But assembly is called by Miss Brixel. She takes Vivian away, and she locks her in a dark hole to think on her womanly virtues. Miss Brixel's room is right down the hallway from Vivian's cage, and it's pretty nice. Looking at this room, you'd never know that the rest of the facility looks like a shut-down asylum. Oh snap, and she's got a love affair going with Dr. Miro. Brixel talks to Miro about Alex, the pervert guard, and it turns out that their dangerous investors want them to start a new batch of girls. Brixel isn't happy about this, and she thinks they should have done things differently. Also, it turns out that the girls are only awake for 5 hours in each hall. They do this so they can feed and clean themselves up. This makes way more sense as to why they're able to run all 4 halls at different times in the day. When Brixel talks about Vivian, all he can say is that she's a special one. Meanwhile, Sophia tackles the pervert guard when he comes in to molest one of the girls, and they end up fighting into the laundry room where she knocks him out with an iron. She grabs his card key, and she rushes back to the dark hole that Vivian is locked up in. Just as Sophia goes to let Vivian out, the alarm sounds, and Sophia runs out on her own. In the morning, Brixel comes to let Vivian out, and she brings her to assembly. Brixel addresses everyone, and she says that Sophia has hidden something valuable that must be returned. She offers a reward, but Miro decides to take over the speech. Miro is going to punish a girl every day until whatever it is brought back, and I'm just sitting here wondering what they're even talking about. It has to be the card key, but I would have thought that she used it to try and get out. Miro gives Brixel a bottle of pills to dose the girls with, and she tells Vivian that tomorrow she'll join her new family. When she lays down, Vivian pokes her own hand to keep herself awake as she fights against the drug. She goes over to Sophia's bed to search for the key card. She ends up finding it in her headboard, and she thanks Sophia. Meanwhile, Brixel goes to her room, and she's horrified by a sight in the mirror. Vivian tries to use the key card, but it doesn't seem to work anymore. She seems to give up for a moment, but she gets an idea when she sees the hinges of the door. That is one strong key card if she's going to sit there and unscrew the very hinges with it. Brixel goes to the office to search for something on the tablet, but Vivian's been hard at work. The door is completely off, and she's free in the hallway now. Still fighting the effects of the pill, she stumbles down the hallway, and she startles Brixel when she bumps into a chair. Brixel invites whoever is outside to come in, and Vivian comes in to sit. Brixel tells Vivian that she's going to leave this place either tonight or tomorrow depending on the outcome of things, and she'll take Vivian downstairs to see her friend once she can give her a vitamin. Vivian knocks her in the head with a lamp and injects her with the vitamin injection instead before rushing to the stairwell. When she gets to the roof, she sees the moon through the window, and she thinks of Sophia. She rushes downstairs to rescue Sophia, and she finds her locked up in a cell. That's nicer than the dark hole that they locked Vivian in for the night. The girls look around for a way to cut Sophia's bonds, and they find themselves in what seems to be a morgue. 3 body bags lay on the tables behind a curtain, and they find out that the facility is actually skinning the girls. Vivian thinks that they have to get out of there, but Sophia thinks that they should rescue the other girls before they face the same fate. She grabs a scalpel off the table, and Vivian says that she's going to leave still. They go to the roof exit, and Vivian tries to convince her to leave. Sophia isn't running this time, though, and she turns back to save the others after getting Vivian to agree to wait for her. Sophia puts on an apron to hide the stains on her dress, and she starts evacuating the other floors. Meanwhile, Vivian can hear one of the guards going onto the floor Sophia went to, and she decides that she can't just wait around for Sophia to get caught. She follows the guard onto the floor, and she hides as soon as he turns around. She finds herself in the room where the sponsors met the girls, and she goes into the office to watch a video on what they're selling at the facility. Dr. Miro talks about how they offer state-of-the-art face augmentation, and Vivian realizes that the girls are literally used for their skin. They peel the skin from the girls on level 16 and fuse them with the clients who need a facelift. Eventually, Vivian catches up to Sophia, but she brings Brixel with her. They tell the other girls exactly what they're being farmed for, but Brixel tells them that it's too late to help them. It turns out that Brixel has already had the treatment herself, and she swears that she didn't know for sure until Miro showed her. The girls lock Brixel up in the dark hole Vivian was in, and they leave her there while climbing the stairs to the exit. As soon as they open the door, the alarm sounds and the girls rush outside. Sophia gets grabbed by a guard. Vivian fights him with her scalpel. They push him over the side, and they find that Sophia got hurt during the scuffle. They make it down to the ground level, and they run with the other girls who are surprised to find that the air isn't toxic. Suddenly, all of these armed guards show up and start shooting at them. Then Miro pops up, like the sound of his voice is really going to make the girls change their mind. Vivian and Sophia lock themselves in a warehouse, and Miro asks Vivian to help him find all of the other girls, since she's different. He tries to make her feel special, but Vivian isn't buying his crap. Vivian takes the scalpel and messes up her face so that Miro can't have the perfect face to sell anymore. Suddenly, the lackeys tell Miro that their boss wants to speak with him now, and they escort him away. Then, Vivian and Sophia hear a gunshot. In the morning, police barge into the warehouse and rescue the girls. They bring them outside to get their first moments in the sun and rain, and they can't believe they made it. Then, the credits roll. This was definitely an interesting one. Kind of predictable throughout the way, but it was still entertaining to watch. Give it a shot. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more like this one. Comment what you think I should watch next, and I'll see you in the next video.